In April 2015, I got a scholarship which allowed me to move to Japan to do my master's. And it was a very exciting time for me. I have always been interested in Japan actually. I remember when I was younger, there was this program on TV called Japan Video Topics that got me interested in Japan. It showcased a lot of Japan's culture and Japan's technology. And from that point onwards, I've always wanted to, go to Japan. So the scholarship was indeed a blessing. It's always stressful moving to a new country. But luckily, there was this lady who has also previously received the scholarship who contacted us actually and ended up helping us in the sense that she told us what we needed to prepare in order to be able to adjust adequately when we finally move to Japan. So once I finally arrived in Japan, I decided that I'd like to go to church that very Sunday. So I contacted this very lady, and she contacted a friend who also contacted a friend who actually happened to live close by to where I was staying. And then I got this person's contact. And after speaking to this person, we decided that on the Sunday that was coming up, we would meet at my station, and then he would take me to church. So Sunday finally comes around, and at the time that we agreed upon, I meet my friend at my station. He helps me get a ticket because I'd never ridden a train before, and we get onto the train, and then once we arrive at his stop, we go to his dormitory, but not directly to the church, because what they do every Sunday is this other person who has a car, who is from my home country, comes to their dormitory, picks up the other students from my home country, and then they all go to church together. I guess another reason why we didn't go to church directly is also because he wanted me to see where he lived, so that in case I wanted to come around or anything, that would be easy for me. So this man comes, and we get into his car, and then finally we go to church. So after church, we hang out at my friend's dormitory a little bit, and I tell him that I really enjoyed myself at church today, and I would like to join them so that we go to church again the next week. And my friend is just a bit skeptical because he's not sure if I can find my way back to his dormitory on my own. And I tell him, dude, don't worry about it, because you know where you come from. I mean, it's not like everything is well defined in our country for you to be able to find your way, but I haven't really gotten it before. All I need to do is to go to some place one time, and I'm good. So, dude, don't worry about it. Next week, at this time, I will be at the dormitory, and then we'll wait for this man to come, and then we'll all go to church. Is what I told my friend. But as you can deduce from the title of my video, things went just a little bit different. So what happened was that the next Sunday comes. I shouldn't have moved. The next Sunday comes, and I wake up very early, prepare myself. I go to my station at this particular time so that I can make it to my friend's dormitory in time. I get to the station and I realize that I have totally forgotten how to get a ticket. And I try to get into the station without having a ticket. And of course, it won't work. So this person who works at the station comes around and helps me get a ticket for where I'm going to. And I'm very sure he tells me which platform I need to get to and what time the train that I need to get in arrived. But again, given my limited understanding of the Japanese language at that time, I don't think I understood her, and I ended up going to the wrong platform and riding a train that was going in the opposite direction. The only good thing about riding a train that was going in the opposite direction is I didn't get on an express train. I rather got on the local train, because if I had gotten on an express train, I would have ended up in some part of town, and the station that I would have gotten off is known for being the station that is the easiest to get lost at. So as I'm riding this local train, it keeps going, and I never hear the name of the station I'm supposed to get down to, and I begin to wonder, dude, am I on the wrong train? Like, I don't remember it taking this long for me to get to where I needed to get to. And also looking out the window of the train, I can't really see anything that seems familiar. So, contemplating in my head whether I was lost or not, I finally decided to take the chance to get off of this train, and I go and see this other person who was at the train station, and the person confirmed that indeed I was going in the opposite direction. I think this time he tells me in English which platform I need to get to, and what time the train that I need to get on. Alright, so I thank this man, and sure enough, when the time comes, I get onto the right train this time. But again, I was still paranoid. I didn't want to get lost again. So whilst it was taking a bit of time and I wasn't hearing the name of my station, I decided to get off the train again, just to be sure. And and I end up getting off the train this time one stop before the actual stop that I need to get. So I realized, for the first time, I realized that in the train station, they actually have boards that display what time the trains are supposed to come, and then what the next station and all is supposed to be. So once I figured that out, I'm finally able to know when exactly the next train is supposed to come. And this time I get on the correct train and I get down at the station that I'm supposed to get. And once I get down, I hear a sigh of relief, because I am very sure that from this point on, it should be smooth sailing. There should be no way that I should get lost, because again, I am the guy who just needs to go to some place on time, and I'm good. I can find my way, and I shouldn't get lost. But of course, I do get lost, because going to my friend's dormitory, I end up taking a wrong turn, and I end up in a whole different part of town. And I realize that I'm lost, and I'm questioning myself, dude, I don't think we came to this place. I must be lost. Again, on a totally unrelated note, whilst I was trying to find my way to my friend's dormitory, I met this very old lady. Well, not very old lady, she was old, and not too old, but she could walk on all that. And she was nice to me. She asked me a few questions, tried to have a conversation with me, but given my limited expertise in Japanese at that time, I couldn't really have a conversation with her. So we had to part ways, unfortunately. So to the old lady, if you are listening, thank you very much for looking to me that time. I really appreciated it. So back to the story. Once I finally realized that I'm lost, I decided, okay, the best thing to do is to backtrack and go back to the station. And from there, you're trying to find your way back to your friend's dormitory. And yeah, I think that's a good plan, right? So I decided to go back. And as luck would have it, on my way back to the station, I end up taking a wrong turn. It turns out that if you live in a country where everything is well developed, things tend to look the same. So you tend to easily make mistakes, like I did. So I take this wrong turn and I end up again in a totally different part of town, which is so far away from the station. And oh boy, it was really stressful, like new in the country and you're already lost. And I'm sure at this point in time, some of you are wondering why I didn't call my friend. I didn't call my friend because I was, again, new in Japan and I had not yet bought a cell phone. So there was no way of even contacting my friend. So they couldn't help me even if they wanted to. And also, probably could have asked someone how to get to the station, but I couldn't really find many people. There was a Sunday after all. And also, I doubt that somebody could have helped me because the person spoke to me in Japanese. I wouldn't understand the direction he gave me. So whilst I was getting lost and I couldn't find my way, my friend was waiting for me at his dormitory. As time got closer and I wasn't arriving, he was beginning to worry. Did I get lost or was I not going to come? And he also couldn't confirm if I could come or not because, again, no cell phone. So the time finally comes and the other students come around and they ask, dude, who is your friend? He hasn't come. Okay, he might come very soon. And then I'm still not arriving. And then finally the man whose car we all ride in comes around. And when they realize that I'm not around, they decide to pass by the station to see if I would be around there. So they all go to the station, walk and look around, and they can't find me. So they conclude that, well, this guy is probably not going to come. But because he didn't have a way to contact you, he didn't send me a message. So let's go to church. As they are on their way to church, this friend gets a feeling to look in this particular direction. And once he does, he sees a stressed out version of me who is just walking aimlessly by the road and heading in a totally wrong direction. And he calls out my name. And according to him, once I turn and I see that it's him, I heave a huge sigh of relief. And I'm sure that was the case because I was so overjoyed to see them. Smile comes over my face, and I finally joined them in their car. And we are on our way to church. How do I end the story? I guess the best way to end the story would be to add the fact that after that experience, I didn't want to get lost again. So after church, me and my friend decided to get me a cell phone. And since I got the cell phone, I have never ever gotten lost in Japan again because Google Maps and stuff. It's what I would like to say if that was true, but I mean, my other stories of getting lost, we can't save that for another time. I guess the moral of the story will be to get a cell phone as soon as you land in a new country, because in that case, if you get lost, at least you have Google Maps, and best case scenario, you would have a friend's contact and then you can call somebody to help you out. Yeah.